Joining me now, Eric Guster, Judith Miller, and Katrina Pearson. All right, Katrina, it's the old word game again. not marked classified, but that's not necessarily the question here, right? They were top secret, and in some cases, even more than top secret.
Oh, absolutely. This is classic Clinton. I did not send classified emails. This is absurd, and you see the camp going all around the news organizations today. Like we just heard Mrs. Clinton saying, oh, that's not true. They didn't find anything. This didn't happen. We're going to let it play out. But guess what? It's going to play out in the public opinion at this point because there were serious things found in this email, and we already know that this server, Charles, had been hacked.
Well, here's the thing, Judith. We're talking now about the Special Access Program, the SAP. Many are saying this is a game changer. You have to have a certain level of top secret clearance to even get to this. So exclusive, in fact, that there's certain lawmakers that can't even look at these emails right now or open them.
Absolutely, Charles, but the FBI can look at these emails, and surely Mrs. Clinton, being an experienced government official, must have known how sensitive the information was in some of those emails, whether or not it was marked. Plus, there was another earlier email, if you recall, in which Mrs. Clinton said, can we please take the headers, that is the top of the email, off, which would have contained perhaps a marking.
Now, those headers probably said, what, top secret?
It might have, or it might have said sensitive information, or we don't know what it said. But the two facts, the two pieces of evidence together are big trouble for Mrs. Clinton, and she's finally had to address it today. Charles, this story broke on Tuesday. The New York Times did a very modest little story portraying it as a catfight between the Inspector General of the intelligence community and the Clinton campaign. It's much more than that. This is serious, and she has to explain it.
Eric Guster, you're kind of smirking, but doesn't it feel like the noose is starting to tighten on Hillary?
Not at all. This is much ado about nothing. With emails and other technologies emerging litigation, and I don't believe that she will be indicted on this. I know that everyone on our station has said that she would. I do not see it because this was not intentional. Now, she may get in trouble for the cover-up if there was actually a cover-up, but for what she did...
Well, she's denied it from the very beginning, so there would be some form of a cover-up. But Judge Napolitano said in this particular case, considering the job that she had, she would be in trouble because of neglect. So, ignorance of the law, she understood her role was not to allow top secret or classified information on a private server. It had to go through the government and network.
But like I said, it's still emerging litigation. We've never had a case just like this one because people are still learning about email, still learning about how to have a server protected because some private servers. I know, but some private servers are more protected than those of the government.
But this one wasn't. We already know that.
We're not totally sure.
And more than that, I have not said that she's going to be indicted, and I've been commenting on this case. I don't think that's the issue right now. You can be indicted by the law, but you can also be indicted on lack of trust by the public.
Well, I think she's losing that race big time, but I also think, Katrina, that I think there's a strong likelihood that she will be indicted either by the Obama administration or the next administration.
Well, look, we can't forget that this all started because of the Obama administration with Valerie Jarrett leaking the drip at the beginning of this thing. But I have to take issue with maybe email is new to some people, but being the Secretary of State is not. Handling classified information and documents are not. This is not something that's new, particularly when she told her staff to remove those headers. That is absurd. She is responsible. She should be held accountable, and she did violate the law.
How is she going to get around that, Eric? I mean, if you tell someone on your staff to, hey, you know what, fax this over to me, just remove the top. I mean, get out of here. It's nuts.
And that's why I said the cover-up is sometimes worse than the offense or the crime. That's what's going to get her in trouble if she ever gets in trouble for this. Because if you try to cover something up, it makes you look and appear that you're trying to be co-conspirators in some type of shady deal.
What do you make of the fact, though, that there are hundreds of FBI agents on this case, that the Obama administration has been pushing it, Valerie Jarrett has been pushing it. It really feels that if they've slowed it down, that's one thing, but they're letting it move ahead, whether the pace is the right pace or not.
They have to make sure that they investigate it properly, even if they do not indict her, even if they don't charge her. They have to make sure that they have looked at it, they vetted it to see whether or not charges are relevant in this case, and I simply don't see them.